Mrs. Serpent.
Here.
Ms. Weinstein.
Here.
Mr. Potts. Here. Mr. Keller.
Here.
Mrs. Winkler.
Here.
Mrs. Mallon.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and thank you for coming out tonight. I hope everyone had a restful spring break. I got to attend the 8th grade dialogue with Ms. Pedroza and Ms. Moore, where Ms. Madison Peck, an 8th grader, got to speak and represent her 8th grade class. I also got to attend an Equity Expo hosted by New Jersey School Boards Association in April, which was the final training that I needed to become a certified school board member, along with my fellow board members, Laura, Faye, and Gloria, who's actually getting recognized there tonight. Congratulations to the boys track B-South champions. In early April, our policy committee met to discuss and update policies while following the leadership and guidance of Strauss Esme. Proms are coming up. I want to wish our juniors and seniors the best as they get ready for their proms. I hope you have a beautiful night to always remember, be safe, and make healthy choices. We have the district art show on May 15th, so hopefully we'll see lots of faces out there and the beautiful artwork that the kids display. On Monday, there was a tragic accident, and a member of the class of 2021, Mr. Jack Lisowski, unfortunately passed away. So please keep Jack's mother, father, sister, brother, and family, friends, and loved ones in your thoughts and prayers. In honor of Autism Awareness Month, I leave you with, sometimes the things that make us different are the things that make us strong, and that author is unknown. Have a great night, and Ms. Pedroza, it's your turn.
Good evening and welcome. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and enjoyed a restful break. As a reminder, you're going to hear me say this again, our revised district calendar now reflects that staff and students will attend school on Friday, June 20th. This adjustment now means that that will be our last day, along with graduation ceremonies that will take place both for the middle school and the high school. So please mark your calendars accordingly. I do also want to talk a little bit about a loss that we had here in our district. It is with great sadness that I share the news of the passing of Mrs. Tully. Many of you know Gloria Tully as a beloved staff member. She most recently was working at Regional Day School. She was kind, she was dedicated, and just a lovely, lovely woman. Her warmth, her compassion, and her commitment to our students could be felt by all. So if you could please keep her family and her friends and her students in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time, it would be greatly appreciated. In the recent days, our community also has been tested by the devastating fires affecting the Manchester area. In times like these, it's important that we come together. And once again, I am incredibly proud and grateful for how our Manchester community rose to meet this moment. I want to sincerely thank our entire community, our staff, first responders, and local residents for their compassion, their generosity, and their resilience that they demonstrated in supporting those that had to evacuate. Opening our doors to shelter others reflects the very heart of who we are as a district and who we are as a community. The well-being of our staff and our students and our neighbors remain our top priority. And I would just like to thank you all for your outpouring of true Manchester spirit. I also want to recognize there's a couple of retirements. One in particular happened to work with me for a very long period of time. Congratulations to Mrs. Carol Parrots. She is being recognized this evening and will be retiring with 27 years of service. That is a wow, you're exactly right. We are also going to see a wonderful math teacher, Ms. Tarver, leaving our high school staff. Lisa Tarver worked there for 16 years of service, so congratulations to her. And just as important are our secretaries. wonderful secretary there at the high school for 20 years. If you know Mrs. Linda McCombie, she's kind, she's thoughtful, she's detail-oriented, and she has served in Manchester for 20 years, so congratulations to Mrs. McCombie. I also don't want you to miss some important dates. Tomorrow evening here at the middle school, we will have the Manchester Middle School engineering team. They will have the Civil Air Patrol, engineering students from Ocean County, and you're welcome to come. I believe it starts at 5, but things really start going at 5:30. There is going to be a lot of food. There will be airplanes, paper, by the way, just so that you know, bottle rockets, kites, boomerangs, and other flying objects. So if you're looking for something fun to do with your family, you may want to come. I see a head shaking in the front. Hope to see you there. And then please mark on your calendar, our district's art show is going to be held at the high school on May 15th, and it'll start around 6 p.m. Thank you so much, and I think at this time I'm going to hand it back to you for Lieutenant Commander.
Lieutenant Commander Holzer, ready for your presentation?
Good evening, everybody. Lieutenant Commander Holzer. I'm temporarily filling in for Senior Master Sergeant Taylor. He's currently deployed to Qatar. Will return in August in the Middle East. So keep positive thoughts for him and his family. What I have for you tonight, we have the air show coming up here May 17th and 18th at the Joint Base. We continue to enjoy a positive, strong relationship with the Joint Base with our district. They've opened up, we'll be taking students from the high school, from middle school, and Lakehurst, and various staff members over on Friday the 16th. There'll be numerous static displays as well as some dynamic displays. And it is a really good opportunity for our students to spend time with active duty folks and see what they do.
Lieutenant Commander, would you like to also explain to everyone about the ROTC recognition today?
Sure. If I didn't say, I'm the senior naval science instructor at the high school. I'm not active duty, I'm retired. 26 years in the Navy, been here 7 years at the high school, so just found out today that our principal, Mr. Adams, and our superintendent, Mrs. Pedroza, know that our unit was recognized this year, Unit Achievement. That's a school year award, so for the 2024-2025 school year, they select 20% of the units in the Northeast area, or what's called Area 2. So we were one of those units that was selected and recognized for sustained superior performance.
Thank you, Mr. Holzer. Now, Ms. Emily Johnson, can you give us an update on student government activities?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Johnson, and I'm the Executive President at Manchester Township High School, and I am here today to provide the board with any updates going around our high school. Now, first and foremost, our juniors are anticipating their prom on May 2nd, and they did such a good job fundraising and selling bids. It went all over smoothly, and now we just wish them the best of fun and hopefully some nice weather. Now, our seniors, they have their prom a little bit later. They're right now selling bids, and the prom is going to be May 29th. Prior to spring break, our class of 28 wrapped up their Nothing But Cake sale for Mother's Day, and they will be delivering those pre-orders on the Friday before Mother's Day. And class of 27 will be hosting a movie night on May 16th, and they will be showing Spider-Man. Now, coming back from spring break, all our students are working really hard on AP, kind of getting those last studies in, and now tomorrow is commitment day, so our seniors are welcome to wear their future for an opportunity to take a picture and just kind of all get together and celebrate their hard work. And Mrs. Kelly's staff and myself have worked to decorate the media center as a little surprise so they can have a nice little opportunity to take pictures with friends and make memories. And I just want to say thank you for letting me speak, and I hope you guys all have a good night. Thank you.
Emily, which show will you represent tomorrow? What's your future holding?
My future for me is going to be Michigan State, and yeah,
What are you majoring in?
journalism.
Good luck. Good luck. At this time, we would like to invite Mayor Hankins to the podium. Is there a microphone?
Chris, is there a microphone up there?
spoke of the evacuation and the availability of the school, and that was extremely important. What you may or may not know is the emergency management director of Lacey Township reached out to our emergency management director, stating that he's doing an evacuation. He's going to have to move about 5,000 people, and that, in Lacey's eyes, was a monumental task. And we had just gone through a similar event a year before, where we evacuated Beckerville and folks in Lakehurst, and that in and of itself is stressful, but not knowing where you can send it is another event. The fact that the school made itself available, our emergency operations guy reached out to the staff at the school, and within minutes we had the school open, and we had the Red Cross there, CERT team, which is the community emergency response team, building beds, and it was amazing to see that some folks just went in there and went right to sleep. It was amazing. But I did prepare this so you'd have something to memorialize the event. In recognition of Manchester Township and the Board of Education, whereas the strength of a community lies not only in its infrastructure and institutions, but in the compassion, cooperation, and dedication to all it serves. Whereas the Manchester Township Board of Education continuously demonstrates an unwavering commitment and well-being to the safety of our community, going above and beyond their educational mission to serve the greater needs of the residents. And whereas in times of emergency and great uncertainty, the Board of Education has consistently, generously opened its doors of the Manchester High School as a shelter and evacuation center, not only for the residents of Manchester Township, but for our neighbors in the surrounding towns as well. Whereas their willingness to provide this safe, comfort, haven for individuals and families, along with their beloved pets, has brought a peace of mind during some of the most stressful moments in the township that our township has faced. And whereas this selfless partnership has served as a shining example of unity and power and collaboration between our local governments and our educational leadership. Now, therefore, I, Joseph Hankins, Mayor of Manchester Township, do hereby extend our deepest and most heartfelt thanks to Manchester Township Board of Education. Your compassion, responsiveness, and steadfast support are not only appreciated, they are treasured. Our partnership is a source of strength in our entire township, and we are forever grateful to the job you do.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
At this time, Ms. Pedroza is going to recognize our students who are celebrating tonight.
I got it. Because I forgot my paper.
This one?
So this is why we're here. We're all about our students, and we are all about the families of Manchester, but certainly what Mayor Hankins just brought up is that we are here always as a community. I'd like to begin this evening talking about the students of MTES, and I'd like to call up Charlotte Peck and Abigail Offerman. And I'd like to their wonderful teacher, Mrs. McGrath, to come up with them, and their principal, Ms. Healy. So each year, fifth grade students at MTS participate in a service learning project where they experience the importance of giving back to the community. This year, students are creating wallets from recycled juice pouches, and they will sell them for $1 at field day. I have my wallet over here. I know Mr. Lorenzen wants it as well. I'm sure I'll put a couple dollars in there for you, Mr. Lorenzen, and you can wear it in your pocket of pride. But meet the two fifth graders who have done above and beyond to make this year's project a success. Congratulations to Charlotte and Abigail. Give them another round of applause. Dominic Oliver and Gunnar Van Wagner. The Lighting School would like to proudly recognize Dominic and Gunnar for their assistance with our POAC fundraiser. Dominic is a sweet and social fourth grader from room 26. He enthusiastically supports POAC's autism awareness fundraisers by making announcements and expertly applying his money skills to sorting and counting donations. Gunnar, who is a smiling and helpful fifth grader, also from room 26, diligently assists with classrooms, creating flyers and collecting items, and they are both responsible for a huge success. So let's give them a nice round of applause. Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. Congratulations. You can give another round of applause. Our next student is representing Regional Day School, and I believe Ms. McCollum is here, but I don't believe Guy is here today. But if you could, please, we're going to congratulate Guy, who follows directions, is a great role model, he's polite, uses good manners, and always helps his friends, so congratulations to Guy. Our next student is representing our middle school. I believe we have with us this evening Mrs. Schreiber. And I do think I saw Joe here. Hi, Joe. Congratulations to you. So nice to meet you. Joe will always shake your hand. He's always ready to smile and shake your hand. So congratulations to Joe Murray. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Joe is a seventh grader who is on our middle school engineering team. He recently entered the Kid Line and Finn Scientific's White Box Learning Turbine and Wind Farms National Challenge, and he won first place. He tied for the highest score in the category. He's just an exceptional student. He loves STEM. And Joe, you strongly encourage that they should come to the STEM night tomorrow night?
Yes, you are all invited.
Congratulations, Joe. We'll see you tomorrow night, okay?
Thank you.
Good night. Good job. Our next two students are athletes representing the middle school. And I think Amelia Pazelia is here, and Molly McKeever. Is she here? Hi, Molly. I thought I saw you. So we're extremely proud of Emilio and Molly, who represent the middle school as student athletes. Emilio and Molly are both great representations of what it means to be a student athlete. They're both eighth graders that lead our teams, cheerleading, and most recently TNF, right? Track and field. And both of them not only are great on and off the field, but they are wonderful examples of what it means to be great students. So they are student athletes, and we congratulate both of you. So we'll continue with the high school. Mr. Adams, are you going to be joining us up here? Okay. I'm looking for Layla Butterfield, Gabrielle Calafati, and Joshua Johnson. I think I saw Joshua.
testing. There we go. I said I was apologizing for my lost voice after yelling at many of these kids about 30 minutes ago at a track meet. However, first and foremost, in regards to the PTA mini grant, I just want to thank the PTA itself for their continued commitment to the Manchester Township School District, and additionally our school district, and also the Board of Education for working hand in hand and always being so supportive of our PTA. This has been a new experience for me being a part of the PTA, obviously as a teacher. I was always involved, however, now after 14 years of teaching in Manchester, I am now proud to say that I have children within the district, and it has been an incredibly humbling experience just seeing how incredible this district truly is, and the commitment and the level of commitment that these teachers have to the kids. And this PTA grant really kind of exemplifies the wonderful ideas and innovations and commitment that our teachers have to the students. So the first mini grant winner is for Patricia Van Bergen at Manchester Township High School. The second grant winner, who I believe is not here tonight, was for Mrs. Nicole Baldelli at Manchester Township Middle School. Our next grant winner was for Mrs. Darla Lanza from the Manchester Township Middle School. The next grant winner was Mrs. Michelle Needham from Manchester Township Middle School, who I know is here. Our next winner is Mrs. Maureen Rubin from Manchester Township Elementary School. From Ridgeway Elementary School, we have Mrs. Alex Hudson and Mrs. Ginny Shank. Our next winner was Mrs. Caroline Consoli from Ridgeway Elementary School. The next winner is Mrs. Colleen Getch from Whiting Elementary School. Mrs. Lisa Gold from Whiting Elementary School. Mrs. Donna Cavallo from Whiting Elementary School. Mrs. Crystal Taylor from Whiting Elementary School. And Mrs. Sarah Drew from Whiting Elementary School. And just to kind of wrap it up here in regards to the mini grant, there were over 27 applications, and every single one of the ideas was exceptional, was deserving. The committee had a very hard time, reaching their decision exactly who to award the funds to. But overall, our PTA awarded $5,000 to the Manchester Township School District teachers. So thank you.
Rob, can we get a photo of everybody together up in the front row of recipients, if you don't mind? If all the recipients...
Can all of the grant members who are present come up for a photo opportunity?
Thank you so much, and thank you to the PTA.
Thank you, PTA, for all that you do for all of our schools and all of our students. At this time, Mr. Lorenzen, can you give us the budget presentation?
Is the clicker up there, Mike? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Robbie.
It's better.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So good evening, everybody. For those of you that are sticking around, we are going to discuss the 25-26 school budget tonight. The budget process, it's a comprehensive process. We start this process back in October, and basically through October, November, December, into the spring, early spring, into March. It's about a 4.5, 5-month process where the entire district administration kind of gets together and we start to develop the budget for the upcoming school year. Now, it is a challenge because as it is, we're only 1 month into in the current school year, we're already trying to build a budget for the next school year. So this is a very comprehensive process. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of time that everybody puts into this to get us to where we are today. So just a quick agenda of what we'll discuss tonight. We'll discuss the components of the school budget. We'll talk about revenue, state aid, where that comes from, the cost drivers in our budget and our expenditures, budget adjustments we made to get here. We'll talk a little bit about administrative costs in the district. We'll do a budget snapshot where we'll give you a little bit about each kind of area in our district and what we're looking to do next year, and then we'll discuss the budget outcome. So let's talk about the revenue sources first. So we got our revenue sources from a few different places. Tax levy is the primary revenue source for our district. As you'll see in the next slide, the Manchester taxpayers fund approximately 71 or 77% of our entire school budget. And the reason that is, and I've said this before a few years, we are a unique school district because we do have a extremely large senior community in Manchester. And school funding formula bases funding on property value, income in your town, and it also looks at the number of kids that get sent to your district. So in the eyes of the school funding formula, Manchester is considered a wealthy school district, but in reality, that's not necessarily the case. We're one of 3 school districts in the entire state that have this type of demographic. It's us, it's Berkeley Township, and there's a district down in Cape May. So unfortunately, a district like ours, where when they use that district factor group, we are a district factor group. Your former avid districts, they were A's. We should, realistically, we should be getting state aid at least over 50% of our entire school budget. In reality, we get about 11 or 12%. So we'll be looking at, we talked about the tax levy, talking about state aid. We get federal aid through grants through IDEA and ESSA, which used to be No Child Left Behind. Then we have a couple other revenue sources. We have a send-receive relationship with Lakehurst Elementary School. They send us their high school kids. And then we have some other, we have extraordinary aid, which is tied into our special education, non-public transportation aid, which is tied into the aid in lieu that we pay. And as you saw tonight, we also get support from our PTA. We also get support from our staff that go out to Donors Choose, our foundation, and all these things kind of encompass what we put in our school budget. So this is essentially the revenue snapshot. This is kind of what I was talking about. As you see, that big green slice that's the piece that's funded by our taxpayers. And then the red slice is the portion we get in state aid, which is about 11.4%. Our federal aid, like I said, which is our IDEA this has been our state aid over the last 5 years. So if you look, during this 5-year period and 2 years prior to this, we were one of the Senate Bill S2 districts. So we were slated to lose money for essentially a period of 7 years. But as you can see, when we hit 23, 24, our demographics started changing here a little bit. We had more students that were on free reduced lunch subsidies. We had more special education students. We had more ESL students. So that kind of flipped the script for us a little bit and actually put us in a state aid increase for one of the first times in a long time. So you can see where we went. This year, our state aid increased $359,000, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So for the 25-26 budget, the school funding formula changed a little bit. And basically, the major change in the formula was, instead of taking a 1-year snapshot, a 1-year income snapshot, and a 1-year property snapshot, they took the average of 3 years and of each of those things, and then redid the funding formula. Now that changed the formula quite a bit. So when I sat and we watched the governor give his address, his budget address, he said schools are going to be fully funded this year. And we're like, hey, fantastic, this is great. Schools are going to be fully funded. But are we? We're not. So what we found out is when they get up there and say schools are fully funded, what they're telling you is whatever they have in their budget for school funding has been put into the formula. Does not mean that we are fully funded. So as you'll see, when the formula was revised, our uncapped aid, so our state aid should have increased almost $1.8 million this year. And they put a cap in place on increases and decreases. So of the $1.8 million, we got $360,000. So clearly, clearly the formula is not fully funding schools yet at this point. But I'm always glad when the money goes up, but it should have been significantly more. But that's where we're at. But now under the new funding formula, the school district is now $4.8 million below adequacy. And what that number means is the Department of Education determines what a budget number should be to provide a thorough and efficient education. And now they're saying we are $4.8 million below adequacy. Last year, we were about $300,000 above adequacy. So you can see how much this change in the formula affected those things. And now what this formula also says is that Manchester as a town is $8 million below local fair share. So what does that mean? That means the state is now saying that the taxpayers of our town can afford an additional $8 million in tax levy to support the school budget. So look, there's a lot to unpack with this new formula, and it may change next year, but for the purposes of today, we did receive an increase. We are not being fully funded yet, and the school funding formula has shifted quite a bit to put more responsibility on the towns and less on the state. So what are some of the cost drivers in our budget? This is no surprise. Staff salaries, health benefits, they occupy over 70% of our entire budget. Special education is our third biggest expense in the district. This includes all of our out-of-district students. This includes all the services we provide, all our special education programs, transportation, those types of things. Aid and lieu, which is a fairly new expenditure for Manchester. We've always had it, but never to this extent. 4 or 5 years ago, we were paying aid and lieu. Our aid and lieu payments were around $35,000, $36,000. We're projecting to get $1.2 million next year. And basically what those payments are payments for students that go to non-public schools. They don't come here, they go to non-public schools within 20 square miles. We are responsible to transport those students or give them a subsidy per child. So we are estimating to be around $1.2 million next year there. Utilities, obviously you've got to have the lights on, the air has to work, which it seems like it's working very well in here. Utilities, we're expecting to see a potential increase, and I have seen that they may be killing some projects to reduce this potential increase, but we were originally told we could expect about a 20% increase in electrical costs next year. When you're running a school district, that's significant. When you have people in your buildings almost all day and all night, that's significant. And then there's something else in our budget. You know, again, this got pushed into our budget several years ago, but we are now responsible for a portion of a pension payment that we make for our staff that are not in TPAF. These are our staff that are PERS, and that's expected to be about a 17% increase. So when you consider school budget, you know, our tax levy cap is 2%. Now there are some things, there are some adjustments that we can make that allow us to go above the 2%. But when you're operating in a budget that, you know, where health benefits are increasing 18 to 20%, utilities are going up 20%, liability insurance is going up 25%, staff salaries are going up more than 2%. It's a challenge every single year. It's a challenge to get to where we are today. Other areas, you know, that are driving some costs in our budget are our multi-language learners. We still have some substitute shortages, but it is getting better. There was another minimum age increase. It was a small one, but it does affect what we pay. It also affects what we pay vendors. We had some in the expiration of a bunch of federal grants that were given to schools during COVID. We were using a lot of those funds to support programs we were running in the district. Now we have to bring some of those programs back, some of that software back. We've maintained some of that staff, not all of it. And then just the cost of doing business. I mean, you guys all know if you're out there, you're in the shopping, you know, in the malls and the supermarket, wherever, things are expensive. And they're expensive for us too. You know, so you know, we have to fix HVAC, if we have to fix, you know, anything. That cost is now double or triple what it was a few years ago. So those are some things we're dealing with. I realize as I look at this slide, this is probably not the best slide to put up there because it's so friggin' small. But the primary thing about this slide is to point out, like, the blue line, that's our staff, right? Blue, red line, purple line is our health benefits. Those two categories in and of itself, like I said, are roughly 70% of our entire budget. So when we're going through the budget process and we have millions of dollars to cut out of our budget, it's very difficult to do it without affecting those areas because that's the largest part of our budget. Now we do everything we can to maintain our staff and programs, athletics, transportation, all that stuff. And it was a real challenge this year. I will say this: we had a big shift in our charter school enrollment. We had a big shift in our out-of-district special education enrollment. And without those two things, this would be a much different presentation. But this just kind of gives you an idea of where the money gets spent. But the whole reason is just to show you that the majority of the money that goes into our school budget is in the classroom. About 50% of this budget is related to classroom instruction.
I have a question. So as, you know, you said the charter school and the out-of-districts, could we maybe like start verifying each year for anybody who's attending a charter school and out-of-district for their addresses?
Yeah,
so that way we're not spending.
So we actually started doing that this year. We have been able to find some families that did not belong, you know, in Manchester. But that is one of the things we have started doing, and we will continue to do that going forward. Especially considering how tight the budget is, and every single kid that goes to a charter school costs us about $22,000. So it's worth doing, you know, an investigation just to make sure that they are our residents. So here are some of the things that we did to help us get to cap. Now again, and I'll back up and say, again, this page could have been significantly different tonight if it wasn't for some of the work that our special ed department has done, our security teams have done with residency checks and things like that. So this budget eliminates 6 positions, primarily through attrition, which means we have staff retiring that we're not going to replace. We've reduced out-of-district placements, you know, fairly significantly from where we were at this year. At one point this year, we had about 57 kids out of district. Next next year, we're projecting about 47. So being able to, some of those kids graduated, some of those kids we're bringing back to district to participate in district programs. When each one of those kids can run you $80,000 to $150,000 a piece, that is very significant. And so I thank the special ed department for doing that. As I said, our charter school enrollment dropped. We went from 32 kids, and it dropped 19 kids. Part of this was families moved out, and part of this was residency checks and things like that. Again, at $22,000 a pop, that is significant. One of the things we did in the budget process was we moved our cafeteria aides out of our local budget and moved them into our cafeteria budget. Now that would only be temporary because our cafeteria budget cannot sustain the cost of all of our cafeteria aides over a period of more than probably 2 years. So this was temporary at the time. Now, all that being said, the good news, class sizes are going to remain relatively the same. All of our programs, services, support, staff development are all still in place. We have no changes to sports or clubs, but we will be looking at participation. Obviously, to run clubs, we want to make sure we have enough participation. To run sports, we want to make sure we have enough participation, but they will all be there if there is. Courtesy busing, after school busing is still available. Field trips still available. Now look, things can happen from year to year. This particular budget year, when we opened the budget up in July, we had 12 new out-of-district placements that we did not have in our budget when we approved it. When we approved our budget last March. So there's always things that can happen that can change this, but for now, and what we're presenting, what we're anticipating, this is where we're at. But we are going to have some tough decisions, going forward. We are at a point now, like I said, where we don't really know what's happening with federal funding. Obviously, if you turn the TV on, there's a lot of discussions about federal funding and who's going to get it, who's not going to get it. So that's going to be an issue. The district demographics obviously are changing here, and the more that shifts, that can affect our school funding, and that can also increase costs that go outside the public education system. There is some building in the community. There are some construction projects out there, so we are hoping that generates some additional enrollment for us. And then obviously the 2% cap. The 2% cap, is tough. 2% cap was put in place, I think, back in 2010, and it's been in place ever since. Realistically, today the 2% cap it doesn't work when you're trying to develop a budget with the costs of everything else going up significantly more than the cap. So this continually puts pressure on the board, puts pressure on the district to find ways to either generate additional revenue, save money, or postpone things, push things to another year to get us to cap so that we are able to still provide the things that we provide for our kids. One of the things, and this was one of the things that this board has always done extremely well, because whenever we're up here talking, administrators seem to have school administrators seem to have the targets on their back, because typically we are a higher paid staff. There's a lot of us out there in various roles, but one of the things we've always focused on was trying to control that cost adjustment. So the regional limit for administrative cost per pupil is $2,677. Manchester's cost per pupil is $1,701. So we are spending $2.7 million less on administrative costs than what the state or the central regional limit is. So that, again, that's a testament to the boards, that's a testament to our administration, because, our administrators are doing, they have more staff under them, they have more students under them. So, we're trying to do our part there to control costs. Now, we'll take a look at the budget. Again, a quick snapshot, just to talk a little bit about what's going on, some of the things that are in the budget. If anybody here wants to chime in, you're more than welcome to from our departments, but I will try to do you justice. So investing in our district, the first thing we'll talk about is curriculum. So right now Manchester has the 68th lowest student-to-teacher ratio out of 74 school districts, which is amazing considering the things that we've gone through. We've managed to keep class sizes small. over these years. And obviously, smaller class sizes is much more conducive to learning. One of the things we're looking at as we go forward is obviously academic achievement, student growth, and providing opportunities for our students. One of the things we are looking at is increasing our achievement in math and science. We are currently evaluating a new math program. We haven't, the team hasn't decided if we're going to stick with what we have or move to something else. But that's something that's out there, and obviously we're continuing our focus on writing instruction. Writing does seem to be a lost art, now, but we are continuing to focus on those areas. The other thing too is professional development. Professional development is vital for our staff and it's vital for our students. Because obviously when you have staff that are well trained, they can take those things and put it into the classroom. We are looking to continue obviously our reading instruction. Obviously literacy is a focus statewide, so we are going to continue putting things in place for that. The high school continues to offer much more diverse course offerings. They're looking every year to try to expand what we offer. We do try to compete with the VOTEC that are out there and things like that. So we are trying to add new things each year as a way to potentially keep kids in the district. And then I won't go through all these, but we got a bunch of textbook purchases. These textbook purchases are not like the old days where you bought the book, you kept it for 10 years, and a lot of this is textbook licenses, because everything now is online. These things expire much quicker, so we're constantly going through this process every couple of years. So these are just some of the ones that we're addressing for the upcoming school year. Special education. We did talk about this a little bit. So we currently have about 739 students in the district that have an IEP. That's roughly just over 25% of our entire population. We have 168 kids that have 504 plans, which is some kind of medical plan. We're projecting, at the time we were projecting about 45 kids out of the district. I think that's going to be somewhere around 47 or 48 when we're all said and done. One of the things we are doing, this was something that we're creating for next year to bring back some of our 18 plus students, is we are creating a job coaching program for those kids. Currently, when we have special needs kids, they are ours until they're 21 years old. And we didn't have this program prior, so a lot of times these kids will stay with the programs that they're in until they're 21 for these services. We are going to try to do that in the district this year, and that's allowed us to bring some kids back. We'll be setting up a new autism A classroom for kindergarten. Again, that's keeping kids in the district. We're setting up a new multi-handicap class, which will allow us to bring more kids back into the district. We're going to continue to offer our extended school year programs. We're going to still have crisis prevention. Our registered behavior technicians are still in the budget. We're still going to offer BCBA services. And again, this special education is very volatile. I mean, you could swing different, one way or another at any given time. So obviously this is an ongoing. We watch this constantly throughout the year. I mean, just today, I think we had 2 or 3 kids that something changed, their placement's changing, this is going on, somebody got kicked out. So it's constantly evolving, we're constantly kind of moving on the fly with this stuff. But special education is a big piece of our budget.
Craig,
Yes.
is the 25% normal in all schools, or is our school different?
It's hard to say, but I would say we're right. We're right about average.
Yeah, we're average to slightly high. We definitely have a changing population. A lot of the students who move into districts come with IEPs. So we have a large percentage of students that move in. Preschool, right now, we have 71 preschoolers that either have an IEP or are being tested at the school because they came out of early intervention. So 71 3 and 4-year-olds out of our group. So it
question was when they come from another town, we are charging them tuition.
Yeah, they come from another town, we charge them tuition, so it's a benefit for us, especially in a situation like this, like an established one of our children, if they move and that district does not have a program for them, we already have that child, we know that child, it's best probably for that child to stay with us anyway, right, if they're special ed, so if we're able to keep them and take in that tuition, we'll take advantage of it.
And that sending district would be responsible for transportations and all costs incurred,
Correct.
nursing services, para services?
If that were the case.
If that were the
Yeah,
case.
absolutely, so that's the first thing we look at, right, next, that's how much it would cost, we propose that. So I think the other thing that speaks to is we're not the only district that is increasing the special ed students, so.
Thank you.
I would get on the technology, these guys over here, but all I'll tell you is don't ever mess with the tech guys. They can screw some stuff up with you. So obviously we are going to continue obviously with the things that we have. We are in the process. We don't have it in here anymore. We used to have these Epson projectors in all of our classrooms. We've been slowly converting those to these touchscreen panels in the classrooms. So we're going to look to do a chunk of those again next year. Obviously, buildings, physical building security, that's always been a focus because obviously we want to keep our staff and our students safe. The big thing now, is backups and cloud backup, making sure that if, God forbid, something ever does happen, we have proper backups and we're backing up on a very regular basis. We are using multi-factor authentication now for just about everything. So, and again, it can be tedious at times, but it's for our protection. It's for our kids' protection, it's for our staff's protection. Again, we are looking to replace some of the teacher and student devices. As you know, Manchester essentially is one-to-one. So every kid that's in the district, with the exception of some grades at the lower levels, because they're not developed at that point to use these devices, has a Chromebook. And many of these Chromebooks go back and forth with them. They only last a certain amount of years, they're licensed for a certain amount of years through wear and tear. So we're constantly replacing, a block of those, each year. So that's coming up this year. Break fix, these guys do a tremendous job because obviously with these devices traveling, the screen's broken, keys missing, things shoved in the ports. You name it. The parents do sign an agreement that basically says they're responsible, but these guys do a lot of that work in-house. And then obviously they're here for all of the software we have and all the software support that they provide in the district. And testing all of that stuff. Facilities, if any of you have ever been in our schools, including this one, our facility crew, our grounds maintenance, grounds custodians do a fantastic job keeping these schools looking beautiful. We have some schools here that are built in 1950s, and these schools look fantastic, and that's a testament to our facilities and grounds department. 32 custodians, 4 grounds, 3 maintenance guys, and they basically do the majority of the work in this district. There is funding, obviously, in this budget to maintain our schools, because obviously we want safe, healthy schools, maintain our school grounds. We have resources to keep the students and staff safe and do preventive maintenance. A couple of the bigger projects we're potentially looking at is we did the shingle roof replacement last year at Ridgeway. They have a flat roof there that we have to look at replacing because it is leaking, and it's at a point where it's beyond repair, so we'll be looking to do that. One of the things we're also going to be looking at is upgrading the playground at White Elementary. And then the last thing is, at our high school, we do have solar panels on our high school. In previous years, it's a small system, but in previous years, those panels have generated anywhere between $20,000 and $40,000 in revenue to the district. But in order for those to work, you need a solar inverter. Our inverter is damaged, and because the system is older, we may have to update that. So that's something we're going to take a look at. I'm not sure if we're going to do it yet, but we have seen a significant change in our utility costs at the high school since that system has been down. So that's something else we're going to look at. Transportation, we have an extremely efficient transportation department here. Our transportation department runs at a 200% efficiency. The state recommends 120. So again, that is a testament to our transportation department. We run on 4 or 5 tiers depending on what's going on. So our buses are out there all day. You know, they're out there running. You'll see them all day long. We have a fleet of about 66 buses and 3 vans. You know, our buses run about 800,000 miles a year, which is a lot when you think about it. You know, we still do have a driver shortage. It's definitely better than it was last year when I stood up here. We implemented some new things. We increased salaries. We offer paid training. So we have been able to attract additional drivers, but we still are contracting out about $1.5 million of our transportation because we do not have enough drivers in house to do those things. So that is always our focus. Our focus is bring more drivers in and pull some of that work back. And I discussed a little earlier what's going on with these moves. Obviously, that has become now a significant part of our school budget here. Student Administrative Services. This is Alex's little area. So a lot of this focuses around our vocational students. These are kids that either go to vocational school full-time or part-time. And typically they're going to performing arts, the Marine Academy, law and public safety. So we every year try to develop ways to keep some of these kids here if we can. So we try to set up some of our own academies in an effort to do that. But that represents approximately $160,000 in our budget that we pay to vocational school for tuition for those kids. And the downside to the kids that go full-time is they are typically some of our top students, and so the grades, all that stuff they get, they go to the vocational school, and they don't stay with us. So it definitely benefits us if we can get those kids back. Obviously, we still provide home instruction, and whether it's medical or it's due to suspensions, anything like that, so we do provide home instruction. We still do our district mentoring program for new teachers, and obviously testing is still a big piece of what we do here and what's in Alice's budget. So now we'll talk a little bit about the tax impact. So as I discussed, back in the first couple slides. So one of the things that the Department of Education did this year with the new funding formula and the new local fair shares and adequacy numbers is any district that was below local fair share and below adequacy could apply for additional funding, we'll call it. But essentially what you're applying for is additional tax levy. You're applying for additional tax levy, and then they will give you a piece of funding to support that. So as I discussed earlier, so the school funding formula was revised. The district is now $8.5 million below local fair share, and we're spending $4.5 million below adequacy. So in this application, the district could have applied for up to $8.5 million. Now, you can't just apply for no justification. You have to have justification. And obviously, we don't have justification to apply for $8.5 million today. And what that would have generated, if we had applied for it, it would have generated an additional $400,000 in one-time revenue. What the district did do is we did apply for $829,000, of which $790,000 of that falls into the tax levy and about $40,000 falls into the incentive. The reason we applied for this stuff is to get to cap, we had to make cuts in areas where some of those things changed from the time we budgeted. Some of them were, like I said, like moving the cafeteria aides out. That was going to be a one-time thing. Some of the stuff that's here, homeless tuition, charter school tuition, nursing and transportation, these were new expenses that came up after the budget was submitted. So in order to put the funding to those expenses, we were going to have to make additional reductions. So we applied for the $829,000. Now, we were supposed to find out today what we were approved for, but in typical fashion, the Department of Ed did not get the letters out to us. But what they told us to do is, our district application is approved, we just don't know how much is approved for you. So what they told us to do was approve it, discuss it tonight, discuss what you're going to use, what we're going to use the money for, which is here. We're going to use it to apply towards homeless tuition, charter school tuition, nursing and transportation, special education, additional costs that need to move, and reinstating the cafeteria aides back into our budget. And whatever the number winds up being, if it winds up being this number, then we don't have to really do anything else. If it's less than that, then we'll have to make some additional adjustments, but we're not really sure when we're going to know. Like I said, we were supposed to know today, and we were supposed to know today, and we didn't find out. So that's the tax levy incentive application. So then here's essentially the tax impact of the school budget for 25-26. So the average home value now in Manchester is $366,000. The town just went through a massive revaluation, and property value in town went from 4.2 billion, almost 7.7 billion. The tax rate, school tax rate itself dropped 55 cents due to the reassessment, and that's typically what happens. As your assessed value goes up, your tax rate drops, and vice versa. As assessed value goes down, your tax rate tends to go up. So, due to the reassessment, the school tax rate is dropping 55 cents. The tax impact on the average home, which is $366,000, would be about $114 for the year. So about $950 a month, $9.50 a month. For every 100,000 of assessed values, this is an easy way you can kind of tie it into your home. For every 100,000 of assessed value, it would be about $31 for the year, or $2.60 per 100,000 of assessed value. So that's where we're at. That is our school budget that I am presenting to the board tonight to vote on. Are there any questions? I know this is a little long, but this is an $80 million budget, so you've got to have some discussion about this so that everybody's comfortable with what we're doing here. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
If you look at the agenda, Ms. Raimundo's presentations can be viewed online, and if you have any questions on those presentations, you can send her an email. Mr. Lorenzen, we're ready for your report.
That was my report. No, seriously. I really don't have much of a report, just that obviously the budget's on the agenda tonight for a vote. We have some things to do as we move forward with this, and we'll be ready to face the challenges however they come. But I just want to thank everybody for the work you guys put in this year, because we do know that obviously you guys know and I know this was extremely challenging to do this year. And sorry, I have to multi-factor into my computer. And I appreciate all the work and what and you guys rising to the occasion. And when I asked you to do some things, you had to make some difficult decisions. You were able to do that, so thank you. And hopefully this will get us through another year.
Thank you, Mr. Lorenzen. At this time, we would like to invite any residents to come to the microphone to ask questions or speak on agenda items only. Are there any board member reports?
I attended a full-day workshop at the beginning of the month on public relations and communications. It was very effective. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other board members? Is there any old business or correspondence?
No old business, no correspondence.
Okay, please move to the agenda. Section 1A, new business, numbers 1 to 3. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Abstain from 1, yes to 2 and 3.
And Ms. Mount?
Yes. Letter B, budget items. Craig, thank you again for your informational presentation. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
I actually just want to provide you one additional piece of info. So when you look at this budget resolution, obviously, one of the other things we had to do, we had to adjust our preschool budget. So I guess somewhere at the Department of Education, they had a fiscal audit on their side, and they made some changes on what we can and can't charge for the preschool budget. So although it's a net, it doesn't really have any impact. We just move some expenses out and some expenses in. We have to show those changes here, so you'll see that in the resolution as well. And then the stuff above that is related to the application that I discussed.
Any other discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
No.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Ms. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. C, transportation. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Ms. Wingler?
Yes.
And Ms. Mack?
Yes. Okay. Section 2, administrative, numbers 1 through 8. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? I would like to thank everybody who gives so generously to our school district to make things better, especially to the PTA that presented tonight. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz? Yes. Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. Okay, personnel, numbers 1 through 28. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? I would like to say congratulations to all those retirees, and I'm going to put you on the spot. Our new principal, once he's approved, Mr. Anthony Giaconia is here, so if you haven't met him, he's right over there. And you can meet him tomorrow at STEM night, which he will be attending here at the middle school. Any other discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. Student personnel, numbers 1 to 3. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Dana, one, yes to everything else.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. Special services, numbers 1 through 3. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. Section 3, finance, letter A, numbers 1 through 5. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Paz?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mrs. Wingler?
Yes.
Ms. Mack?
Yes. Okay, at this time, is there anybody who would like to come to the microphone for non-agenda items? Okay. Before we adjourn, I just want to make note that our May Board of Education meeting will be held at the Manchester Township High School instead of here, because we will be honoring all of our teachers and ESPs of the year. So if you're planning on attending our next meeting, please meet us at the high school in May instead of here at the middle school. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming out.